Hello, hello, hello. I'm indoors today, just as I'm heading out. So here we are again, episode 3 of the Janey with Janey podcast. And I am so excited to have you all back here. I hope you have enjoyed episode 1 and 2. If you haven't listened to them, please go back. It's a big introductory of who I am and why, where I am, where I'm going. So today, Janey with Janey. Just want to sort of go back a few steps, just so you've all got a clear vision of who I am and how I've got to where I am. The episode previous gave me an introduction to me and where it all started, how I got to being the person I am. And today I'm going to go into how Janey with Janey came about. So as many of you will have picked up on previous episodes, I've talked about Jonathan in past tense. Jonathan was my soulmate and my husband, the farmer here at the farm. So yeah, this is how Janey with Janey has started. Jonathan was diagnosed with secondary cancer, and we lost him within the space of a month from diagnosis. So it was like being slapped in the face with a bus coming at you at 100 miles an hour. We'd kind of just got our heads around the fact that yes, he had cancer, that he would fight it as best he could, and the whole journey of hospital trips, that kind of thing. So without going into too much detail, we were left as a family of 3, going from 4 to 3. And yeah, my realisation that I was no longer a farmer's wife, and what was my identity? I still had my identity as a mother of our 2 beautiful children, Charlotte and James. But who was I as a person? So obviously, grief is really, really difficult to sort of put in a nutshell. We are all unique human beings, and we all have a different way of processing, not that I like to use that word, but different way of processing, reacting, and there are hundreds and hundreds of books written about grief, grieving, dying, and a lot of them mention processes. And for me, it was actually finding the thing that resonated with me, and that is how Janey with Janey has come about. To be here to talk openly about death and dying. I think as a society, worldwide society, we don't talk about death and dying. So for me, it was, I had very little understanding as to how I was supposed to be. And the answer to that question is, it's exactly how you want to be in that period of time following the death of a loved one, or any other grief that you might be experiencing, because grief is unique to us all. There are no rules to grieving, and I think when I was looking at different things, a lot of people put them into a process. So people try and slot themselves into where they actually are, instead of concentrating on who they actually are and where they want to go, which sometimes isn't easy to talk about because you're worried about what other people are thinking about you. So for me, my journey to where I am now and being stood in front of the camera here recording this for you guys started with a friend introducing me to Dynamite Lifestyle. So I'm forever grateful to Jo for guiding me to Kim Calvert of Dynamite Lifestyle and her mentorship program. I honestly never ever thought I would go back to studying at my age, yet here I am studying daily and growing me by understanding the scientific process of the mind. And yeah, I started that in November of 2022, and my main goal then was to write a book. I'd always wanted to write a book, and ultimately that was going to be a children's book for farm boys who, like James, loved the apple tree farm books and then had nothing else to move on to other than likes of Roald Dahl and things like that. So it was kind of, that was my idea, that I wanted to do that. And then I was guided towards channeling a story and about my life. And it wasn't until I had completed my first book that I realised that that was actually a nod to my mum, who died in January of 2022. As I talked about our whole childhood growing up, and I also mentioned it on a previous podcast about how amazing our childhood was, but never realised. So the title of my first book is Janey, You Never Realise. So yes, that was goal number one, because that is one of the things that we talk about within Dynamite Lifestyle, having those little goals to help move you forward. And I'm not saying you all need to go out there and write a book, because although I do think we all have a book inside us at some point, I honestly think it is the baby steps. And to me, that is, it could even be as simple as getting out of bed in the morning. Because honestly, I've been there. I can, some days I could so easily just turn over, snuggle under the duvet and just stay there. And I'm not saying that, I magically feel great each and every day. But I do now have the tools to be able to switch my thinking and be the person I want to be on a daily basis. And it is, not really sure how to put this. I think it is a journey of self-discovery. You need to understand that it's you need to find. And as you grow, the grief gets smaller, and you always carry those people or whatever it is you're grieving with you. It's not something that just magically vanishes one day and you're great. It is dealing with things on a day-to-day basis, or an hour-to-hour basis, or even a minute-to-minute basis. And for me, joining Dynamite Lifestyle was key to where I am now, standing in front of you guys, in front of the camera, so I can talk to you guys. I honestly didn't think that was going to be my journey. I joined Dynamite Lifestyle to find me, be the person I want to be, and not worry about what other people think about me. Everybody has their own, I want to say vision, but it's not, own expectations of somebody who's grieving. And we all put ourselves into little corners and little sort of pots as to where we should be at this particular point, where we should be at that particular point. And, it's all relevant to the person that you are inside. And our mind is a powerful tool. and understanding how it works and how we can create the reality that we want by the tools that I will talk about in future episodes, and building into the person that we want to be without worrying about what Joe Blogs thinks over here, or what Granny thinks over there, or what great auntie whatever is saying about it over there. We are our own being, we are our own person, and it is our choice what we do with our lives. And that is basically Janey with Janey. Janey with Janey was never on my radar. And basically it's to talk about grief, grieving, death, dying, any of those words that you want to put into it. But I do think our society is very hung up on almost protecting life. Grief is dying is the only thing that's guaranteed in life, and why we don't talk about it more I'd never really thought about until it's actually happened to me. So this is why the Janey with Janey podcast's been born, to get me out there as a person, and hopefully it will resonate with you guys out there listening to what I'm saying. And yeah, future podcasts will have more top tips, more talking about how I've progressed, what things I've put in place, and relating to true to life stories as well along the way. So it does have key help along the way. So just those, that's where we are at the minute, and I am going to be inviting some special guests on the podcast at a later date. So I hope you will continue to tune in, and don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'm sure that'll all come on again at the end of the podcast. So I will leave you with one of my favourite sayings currently, which is, there's something inside of you that knows no limits, and it's time to believe in you. So until next time, guys, take care. Bye. Thank you all for joining me on the Janey with Janey podcast. Always remember, there is something within you that knows no limits. It's time to believe in you. Click the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. I love reading your reviews and comments, so right away. So if you're ready to take those small steps to transform your true self, let's do life together.